Welcome to Career Junky TV, your hub for honest conversation for the beauty industry professional. Look, I get it. We all are at different levels in our careers. Our journeys may seem different, but you know what? There's someone out there with a similar experience, and we are here to bring you beauty industry professionals who will share their stories, wisdom, and insight in hopes that we can help you take your dreams to the next level. No more dog eat dog industry. CJTV is here to bridge gaps, force inclusion, and give it to you straight. No holds bars, without judgment, and out of love. Oh, did I mention we just might crush a toe or two? So be sure to stop by our complimentary bar on your way in and grab a few band-aids, cause this just might hurt a little. You ready? Okay, let's grow. Hey, Tongela.
Hi, Neve. How are you?
I am great. I'm so excited. Facebook is so slow. It was telling me that I couldn't add you initially, and then the little camera thingy pops up.
And maybe that was it.
It's probably Facebook. Okay, so I am super excited to have you on. Hello, Demi here. Thanks for joining. I can't wait for to dive in and you to share your story. And as always, I start off and I ask you, and I know this is a little different, just to tell us a little bit about yourself. You don't have to go as deep because, of course, we're going to talk more. But I just want you to share and tell us who you are. Who is Tongela Curry?
I'm still trying to discover. I'm just kidding. No, I feel like I know now.
We all are trying to do that, though, seriously.
I am a licensed cosmetologist, a salon owner. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, an artistic educator. But I think the biggest thing about me is, hi Sharon, is I am a servant. Like, that is who I am to the core of my bones. I love people, so it's like, and not to get long-winded, but a lot of people always ask, like, how did you get into doing hair? And, you know, fighting the word ministry for the longest, but that's what it is. Like, I love my career as a hairstylist. Like, I can't see me doing anything else right now. Like, y'all are stuck with me in the beauty industry. Like, this is it.
Okay, so that's awesome. Yeah. I did a little research, as I do always. Here.
Okay, we're good now. I can hear you.
Can you see me? Let me make sure that I turn on the hot source. Okay, great. So I thought that you had a unique story, and I think there are several people that I know in the industry that may have went this route at a point. But I saw that you are an Army vet, and I first want to say thank you for serving our country. But the thing that struck me is that you consider yourself the specialist. So title, but you were a specialist in the Army. How do those correlate, or do they even correlate with you now being in the beauty industry?
I feel like they do. Of course, I'll say about 2015, like, branding was like the buzzword. Like, everybody all of a sudden wanted to start branding. Like, who am I outside of a name? And I had a hard time working on that. I was actually in a part of like a branding boot camp.
Okay.
And that was the biggest thing. It was like, well, who are you? What do you do? And it's like, I'm Tongela Curry,
Right.
but that doesn't mean anything to the world. And it's like, as a brand, if you're selling yourself as a brand, how do you define Tongela Curry? Which was hard for me because I do more than just hair. Like, I'm just not a hairstylist or a cosmetologist. Like, doesn't define me. Like, not just doing hair. Like, I love educating, sharing the skills and talents that I have with other beauty professionals.
Right.
So like, even like with my college degree, like I still like helping people chase dreams. So the business partner is like, how do I define all of those different titles into me as a brand? Like who I am when you know Tongela Curry. Do you know just a hairstylist? Do you know an educator? Do you know a consultant? So I kind of had an aha moment. I was cleaning up actually, and I came across my old military awards, and it's like,
Cool.
when I got promoted to the rank of specialist, when you read what defines that rank, I was like, oh my God, like that is who I am. Like I'm not a sergeant, but it's like the biggest thing about me is I'm a resource. Like I may not know it all, I may not have it all, but I know people. Like I like connecting people. Sometimes it's not about me. I can only take you so far, but I love connecting you to other resources. And it was like that was the definition of the rank specialist. And I'm like, that's me.
Because
like,
the cool kids in school, but we are still so multifaceted and we have so many layers and so many other things that we do and that contribute to who we are. So I love the specialist and it's on tag. So I love that. I was like, okay. Do you think that your experience in the Army or the military, the Army is the correct branch, do you think it helped you or prepared you for your career now or for the things that you did prior to now? Because you're now an educator and all of that, but when you first came in, you were figuring out you were just a hairstylist like many of us. So did that experience help you? Did it help you transition? I guess
it did. It really did. And what a lot of people don't understand who aren't in the beauty industry, like consumers, let's say, they don't know that this is a rough career. Like nothing is handed to you. Nothing is easy. Like it is a dog-eat-dog world. But I think the thing for me that if I could take one thing that I learned from my entire military career is it's not about the soldier. It's about the country as a whole. It's not an independent thing. Like the camaraderie you experience in the military, you can't really put it into words. So it's like we have a common goal. One is to survive. And it's like, how do we do that? You don't do that independently. You count on your comrades to accomplish the mission. And so that to me, within this industry, that's kind of what I felt was a void, not just in myself, but in a lot of other people's. Like we're all soul searching. We're all trying to find our tribes, and you have several people who have titles and, different positions and things like that. But if we could come together as a unit, and it's like, if we had to solely count on each other to survive,
right?
Like, can we do that? And it's like, for me, that's kind of been actually a joy of mine in the industry, because initially it wasn't something that I saw a lot of. I saw a lot of division, things were kind of brand oriented, not that whole family thing. Like there was a lot of cliques. I'm not that clique kind of person. But I just,
okay. So you're in the Army now. How do you go from being in the Army to I'm gonna do hair? Because those are kind of opposite, you would say. How do you go from one to the other? How did that happen?
And that's actually a funny story, because most people who do hair, they wanted to do hair their entire lives. Like, when I was 5, I knew I was going to do hair. That's not my story. Like, I came home from the military, went to college, started doing accounting, and it was actually in accounting when I realized this doesn't define who I am. Like, I'm a creative person, free spirited, might as well be a hippie, you know, to
Right.
have a corporate job like accounting, I knew it wasn't long term. And so I'm a huge advocate of chase your dreams. And it's like, what is it that you could do that you could do the rest of your life? If it was something you had to do and not get paid for and still be happy, what is it? And I had a hard time finding what that was. But to be honest, I had a cousin who was, I think she was going to nursing school. Hey, Kia. And I wanted to push her because her mom did hair. She was great at it. And it's like, I've always been a pusher. You know how sometimes you see something in a person and they get in themselves. And for me, I'm like, how do you not see this? Like, for you, you should do hair. And I joked and said, if you go to beauty school, I'll go to beauty school. And she's like, no way. You're going to quit your great job and your benefits to do hair. I went to beauty school and she didn't. So now she jokes that I'm living her dream because she wished she had pursued that route. But I don't know. For me, I just never really saw a person in the industry doing hair that just loved their job. You know how you see people and it's like, oh my God, like I want to do that. I didn't see that. I saw the struggle. And, you know, I'm a strategic person. You know, especially coming from corporate, the beauty industry is a cash industry. So it's like, you can't really predict. So initially there was a lot of resistance, but I don't know. Like, I know it was God, like without a doubt.
Right.
I knew he was putting certain things in my way that I couldn't see at the time, but I'm just glad I was obedient.
Like, it's 2020, always. Okay, so I'm going to shift and get into the actual services that you offer, because if you guys don't know, Tongela is actually an educator. You're with Design Essentials and Pravana, or you're just with Design Essentials now?
I'm just with Design Essentials now.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I do independent education still, but as a brand, as of right now, I only educate for Design Essentials. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, great. So she's the educator, guys, for Design Essential. I caught one of your conference videos you posted a few years back. It was amazing at the conference, might I add. But you do a lot of natural hair, and I know everybody is going natural now, but everybody's hair isn't healthy. Everybody isn't properly educated on the way to take care of their hair and maintain it. I think a lot of times they're doing too much. And they think that all of these products assist them. For some people, they may need more, others not so much, but everybody is throwing all of these products. How did you actually get to the natural hair sector, like to hone it? And because you do amazing work, okay? If you don't follow her, she does amazing. How do you get specializing and taking care of the natural hair babies that you do?
That's kind of another odd thing is I was kind of forced to become this natural person. Like, my biggest thing with providing a service to consumers, like with the big boom of natural hair no longer being a trend, but actually being something as far as this is what I was born with. As a salon owner, I believe in providing solutions. So most people that seek me out as a hairstylist, they're looking for solutions. You know, my biggest thing is a hair colorist. Like, that was my favorite service to provide, because I wore all the crazy colors. And I kind of started doing that initially to show that Black women, I'm not going to even do it as a race thing, but texture. You can have dark skin, textured hair, still rock. If you want to be a unicorn, it's okay. So I started doing that, and people thought I was wearing weave. And I'm like, your hair can still grow if you get your color services done, one, properly, and you maintain them properly. But color was kind of my thing. But when more people started to do the natural styles, hairstylists started referring their clients to me. It's really my mind, like, how did my consumer base flip-flop from being all color, all cuts to 90% of my clientele are natural? But it's like, even in that, you can have natural hair and receive color services, and your hair still grows and it's healthy.
Right.
You know, because a lot of people think the chemical process, you know, especially, I'll just say, like, back in the day, you know, well, don't put color in your hair because it's going to break your hair off. And it's like, that's a myth. So I spend my career kind of fighting myths. And it's like, now that natural is like the go-to thing, YouTube is killing people. Like, I love it as a resource. Like I said, I love resources. I am a research junkie, but so many people are being overwhelmed with YouTube, with the information that's out there, versus listening to a professional. Because it's like a lot of new clientele that I get in, like that initial consultation is kind of, I'm not argumentative, I'm an educator. Like, I always tell people, I'm not a salesperson. Like, I'm not the person that'll sell you on anything. I educate. But in knowing the proper way, the proper tools, techniques, and things like that, you can make a consumer decision based off the knowledge that you receive. So with that, that's kind of another thing that brought a lot of people in, because it's like, she's not giving me a hairstyle. She cares about my hair. Like, I have a motto with my clients. You sit in my chair twice, we go together. It's no longer your hair, it's our hair. It's like, it's a partnership. So to me, especially with natural people, initially I felt like it was a DIY thing. Like, why would I go to the salon and pay all this money when I can do that myself? But now they're spending more money because it's damaged, it's breaking, it's shedding, and they don't know why. So they're actually seeking professionals to do a professional service, because you have the education, the knowledge, you know, the proper tools, the proper products. So I love it. Like, natural clients are the bomb to me, because I say I specialize in transformations, like taking one thing in its raw form and creating something beautiful, whether that's color or just making that damaged hair beautiful and healthy again. So I know there's natural stylists out there, but not selling dreams, if you know what I mean.
Right. So with natural hair, if you were to give the consumer one piece of advice, what would it be?
Do your research. You know, everybody's not created equal. There's classes, you know, a lot of people are still seeking, and I try not to throw shade. Like, I'm not that shady person, but it's like, there's so much content out there now that, you know, now everybody's a mentor, everybody's a coach, everybody's an educator. But just doing your research, like, are they doing this because of passion? Do they want you to know, or is it a dollar thing? So with the consumer, just do your research, you know, find what it is what are you looking for? If you're just looking for a style, then that's okay. You know, seek a person who can give you the style you want. If you're looking for someone who can take you from a problem like alopecia, breakage, shedding, your edges are thinning, find someone who's going to take care of that, not just cover it up. So that's my biggest thing is know what you want. You know, a lot of times consumers will sit in your chair and be like, oh, I trust you, do whatever, which to me, like, that is the hardest canvas to work with, because I listen to problems. What is it that you don't like? Because like I said, I focus on solutions. Like, I'm not the stylist that's going to give you what I like on you. Like, I want to know what it is that you like, what you don't like. So, like, consultations are key. If you go to a stylist and they don't care to consult with you, get up. Run. You know, if you're a new client and you sit in the chair and they just lay you back and start shampooing your hair, they haven't analyzed anything, they haven't asked you a question, to me, that's the foundation of an unsatisfied client. Like, how can they know where to take you if they don't talk to you? So consultations, like, across the board, to me, is mandatory. Yeah, and that's from a basic service to your most extreme.
I love it. And I think those are all great points for a consumer. Now I'm going to switch it to the professional, because we have to take care of this hair. They're coming in now because they're overwhelmed with the information that YouTube is giving them. And too much information can be bad in the wrong hands. So as a professional, I'm getting this influx of clientele that's natural. What would be one piece of advice that you would tell me about servicing a natural hair client?
It goes back to education. Like I said, that's my heart and soul. So every piece of hair is not the same. Every client's different. You can't use the same shampoos, the same tools. You have to know hair. Like we have to, as an industry, so many people are talking about taking back our industry because they feel like consumers have taken over. Well, for us, we have to educate ourselves. Like you have to know what can hair do, what can hair not do, so we're not creating the same problems. That education is key. Like if you feel like you're not a natural stylist versus referring all your natural clientele to somebody else, get to know it. Like what is it that you feel, what's your fear, what are you afraid of? And take some classes. Like to me, there's so many classes out there, you know, even if it's not at a trade show, find a mentor. Like that's my biggest thing. I'm not afraid to ask. Like I don't care if you are Michelle Obama's hairstylist, which he was the bomb. I don't mind reaching out and asking certain questions. Like we have to get back to that of us being confident behind the chair providing those services. So my biggest piece of advice is whatever you're not confident in, whatever you're not comfortable in, you have to practice. Practice is what's going to take you to the next level. So if you're not perfecting it in the salon, like say you may want to do natural hair, but you don't have the natural consumer clientele, mannequins, classes, your friends and family, like
Yes.
just get to a place where you're honing in on like at home, right, to perfect what you may not be confident in.
Okay. Okay. I agree with all of that. So the majority is get educated and more education, and then seek out people who may know or source out. It's okay to tell your clients to go to somewhere else. They'll come back.
Yes.
They'll respect you more for saying, I can't do that. That person can. And they'll still come back to you for the services that you do offer. So I do love that. You have this amazing book, Entrepreneurial. Why can't I say that today? Forgive me. Transparency. That is horrible. Oh, God. You have this amazing book. And what is the book about, and what made you... Okay, sorry. And what made you decide to write this book? It's so funny, huh?
Because look, we're here. I was actually encouraged by a mentor to write a book because I'm always smiling. I'm always pushing other people to go big. She said, you make it look easy. People don't understand that you have gone through hell, but you're still going. You're still smiling. You know, your faith has never wavered. You need to start telling people those stories. And I used to be real huge on social media, as in broadcasting. Like I love Periscope. When I say I'm a sponge, like learning from other people. And it kind of took me out of my comfort zone when I started to actually do live broadcasting myself. But I kind of went through a phase of isolation because it's like, I don't want to do things to fit in. Or, you know, you start motivating people, so they're expecting it. So if you're not broadcasting, it's like, well, you came on last Monday, and it's like, you know, let me kind of take a step back. But, you know, speaking to, like they say, every coach needs a coach. Every mentor needs a mentor. And actually talking my issues out with another person, she was like, Tongela, you have a story to tell. And it's about endurance, because that's a huge thing in the beauty industry. Like so many people want to jump into this career because of the money and the fame. But how do you endure? Like we see so many people graduate beauty schools every quarter, but they're not lasting. Like you did all the work to get a degree, but 2-3 years later, you're burnt out. And it's like, how do you get past that? Because stuff is going to come at you. And especially when you're pursuing better, when you want to do something greater. And I'm not saying in competition terms, but for yourself, for your own career. And writing the book, actually, I wasn't writing to release it. I was writing as a project for myself. And it's like,
Oh.
get it out. Stop holding it in. Like if you were to write out your story just to get it off of you and burn it up, that's therapy. So it was therapeutic, but I had two people proofread my book, and they're like, Tongela, I think you need to publish this. And it's like, at first it's like, nah, like, first of all, who am I? Nobody wants to know my story. I'm not well known. I'm not famous. Who's going to get something out of this story? But the crazy part about it is, in releasing it's a testimony. And I'll just say that the book is a testimony. I have met so many people who say, that's my story. And that was the one thing I did not expect at all. But pretty much it's a book. It's titled Entrepreneurial Transparency in the Beauty Industry. Pretty much as a stylist, as a salon owner, as an educator for, at that time, two of the top international beauty brands. But I'm still going through some stuff. Like when I first wrote the book, there was some stuff I put in there that nobody knew outside of like my immediate family, like my mother and my daughter. But getting that out in order to encourage the next person that you have to endure. Like, don't ever despise your small beginnings. Don't ever despise your storms. And I think I posted something on Facebook the other day that was like, stop wishing your storms to go away. Like, stop telling yourself, I'm tired, I'm broken. Like, if things could just get better, because in most times, just to be honest, it's in that storm when you discover your strength. I would have never known how strong I was had I not endured, because I should have quit a long time ago.
Yeah.
I should have just bowed down and said, this isn't for me, but it is. And sometimes it's not just for you. I always say a lot of the storms that I go through, they're not for me, because like I said, I am a servant. I'm willing to do any and everything for anybody else. But sometimes you realize, who does that for you? Like, do you have that same support system? And girl, endurance. Like, I have a motto: never quit. I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care if you have no support, no resources. You can't afford to quit. And I've learned when you go through stuff, it's easy for somebody who's gone through anything to tell you, I done been through some stuff. So if I'm telling you don't quit, I'm serious. Like, look at my life, but I'm still here. I'm still fighting, and I'm still encouraging everybody that I know, go for it. Don't quit.
Okay. And I love that. I think well, of course, the reason that I started this is because I realized that I'm attracted to people's backstories. Like, all of my life, if I found you intriguing, I would want to know the backstory. But there was something in me that, I've been through things, but I wasn't comfortable with sharing my backstory, which is kind of ironic, huh? So, of course, you were there when I initially launched Career Junky TV. We were junkies, I think. And it was just me. Right. And it was just me, and I had good content, but I knew that it needed to be bigger. And there were so many people who had other stories that they could share and other people could relate to. So I love that your book shares the stories. And although we don't think that they can affect someone or help someone, they actually do. So, because I totally believe that our stories connect us. And although they may not be similar or the same, they're similar, and they help us heal and get to our next level in life. Now, one thing that happened to you kind of publicly, and I know that I wanted to discuss, because I saw you go through it with so much grace on Facebook. Not saying that's what happened behind the scenes, but it's all about what you can be able to do in public. In 2016, your salon caught fire, and I saw you post that, and I felt for you. And so like I felt helpless. So I can only imagine how you felt. First I wanted to ask you, like, what type of, and if you don't want to go too deep, that's fine, because I know this may still be sensitive, it's still new. When you get the call that something like that is happening to your baby, because when you open a salon, you're birthing a baby, you're going to the next level in your career. Yeah. So someone calls you and tells you that something is happening to your baby. What are your initial emotions about that?
To be, the whole building was gone. I got a call from my landlord, you know, saying, hey, your salon's on fire, and we had security cameras. So I pulled out my phone and I'm looking at the cameras, and all I see is white rolling smoke. So I'm thinking that's outdoors that I'm seeing. So of course I throw on some clothes. When I say I had like a hoodie on, some leggings, some church shoes, when I looked like I was responding to a 911 call. But it's like, it's, and I'm not gonna cry. That was really like, you know, I always hear about like the when God gives you a promise and he gives you a vision, or, you know, especially something that you feel like you didn't ask for, but he blessed you with it. And it's like things are going good, things are going bad, but it's still, like you say, this is your baby. That was the very first business that I opened on my own. And one, to have that taken away from you. Two, to have it, the whole fire was not targeted towards me. The arsonist was trying to target someone who was renting a space from me to keep her from some issues that they had. But it's like that whole ordeal. And of course, you know, when I step on scene and they're treating me as if I did this myself. Like the questions that I'm being asked is, how's your business? How's your money? And it's like, why are you asking me this? Like, they wouldn't even let me on the property. Like, I was literally on the curb, like being treated like I had matches in my hand. And it's like, where's the compassion? And it's not even just from the firefighter, police department, but all the people that I felt like I had poured blood, sweat, and tears, not even, you know, get that reciprocated. And it, like, that was the darkest moment of my life. To be honest, in hindsight, I swear I feel like God was telling me, look, girl, I gave you a vision and I needed you to work it, but you allowed all these other people to attach themselves to a vision that I gave you. Since you don't appreciate it, I'm going to burn it down. No puns intended, but leaving that foundation intact in order for me to rebuild. Like, I didn't tell you to open a salon so that you would be defined by four walls. Like, the vision that I gave you, why wouldn't you think it would be a global thing? You know, why wouldn't you want to take that outside the walls? But that was a really, really hard time for me because, like I say, I'm nice. I never do anything to anybody. I don't do anything wrong. Like, I'm not a malicious kind of person. So for someone, you know, to feel attacked, like literally, this isn't, oh, the devil is after me. Like, no, someone is literally trying to sabotage something great that you created spiritually. Right. I don't wish anybody, but, you know, not just the fire. My landlord was being a butthole. Like, I thought I was going to get to reopen in a few days, but I'm going to tell y'all how good God is. Yeah. That fire burned for 5 hours in one spot and nothing caught her. Like, watching it on the video, to see flames up to the ceiling and not a piece of anything caught fire. Like, how do you explain that? Like, even the firefighters were like, we can't explain it because the position of the fire, the window that was broken out, the wind that was coming in, the fire was on carpet. Like, everything should have been gone. Like, my salon, we suffered, you know, smoke damage, but I could wipe all my stuff off. So I didn't lose anything. But God is good. Like, that is definitely hurt a lot. But yeah. But I know now I don't like you said with my
right. I think, like you said, we try to do things God gives us a vision and we run with it and he'll shut us down. I do love that you said that. But what I did love about this story is that, to me, you picked it up, all the pieces that were given to you. And from what I've seen from now to then, you've been very successful. And you went to Solar Studios and opened up another salon. And I want to say first, congratulations for that. Look at me getting sensitive.
Yeah.
But how and it's because I can only imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have those stories and you see people go through things, and who are you not to be human and not to feel? Like, you have to be a really bummy person to not feel what people have went through. But I love that it ended with success. Like, you picked up, you go, you do what you have to do, basically, to get your job and your business back up and running. How was that to pick it up? How was that transition, or how did you actually say, okay, let me brush this off and get it done? Because basically that's what ultimately had to happen, like, get it done.
Yeah. It wasn't easy, and to be honest, it's not easy. Like, preparing my salon for greatness. Like, I feel like in my state of Arkansas, we don't have a lot. Like, nothing comes here. We don't have trade shows. We don't have big classes. Like, I renovated my salon to have a classroom, a photography studio, because I wanted to help fill a void, not just for myself and my staff, but for the beauty industry in my state. So it's like, you know, to have all of that kind of taken from you, I didn't have a choice but to kind of, like you say, put the pieces back together, because my salon was right under 4,000 square feet. And to be in a solar studio, I literally felt like I was in a cubicle. Like, I had all this open space, and now I'm in like a 4x4. Like, my personality is too big to be in this little bitty box. But again, I know it was God pushing me out of my comfort zone, because my intent was to rebuild my salon. Like, you know, after the fire and restoration crew came, I was prepared to move all my furniture back in and keep it going. But that was not that. I feel like that was taken from me. Like, I was forced to. I'm just going to tell you, my landlord told me, why don't you do hair at home? And I'm like, if I lived in your neighborhood, would that be okay for me to have a bootleg salon out of my home? So, like, in that moment, it's like, okay, what do you do next? You know, I had a local stylist let me and another of my teammates do hair at her salon, but you have to think about it. I'm not a competitive person, not to say that she is, but to invite competition into your salon. I knew it was first it was only supposed to be for 2 days anyway, but 2 days turned into 2 weeks. Then he said give him 2 months, because of course he's fighting for insurance money. But then again, this is my business. Like, what am I supposed to do? Because if I go somewhere else any longer, they're going to expect me to sign a lease agreement. So are you going to out of my lease? Like, how does this work? So, you know, the owner of the local solar salon, like, he is the bomb. Like, you know, he understood, and was, because like in my conversation with him is, this is temporary. Like, I don't want to sign a 2-year lease agreement. Like, I need a home, because I'm not closing my doors. I have people that are depending on me. Of course, my clients, they're considerate, but in the back of their mind, they're like, well, what are we going to do? I know, like, it's small, but I have adjusted, because I'm not isolated in my room. Like, it's literally a community. Like, I'm not in an open salon where you kind of have that ongoing camaraderie, but like, it was weird at first, because it's almost too perfect. And it's like, these people are walking by every day and they're speaking and they're happy. Like, like, where's the drama? Like, where's the chaos? And that's been since 2016, and I have not experienced it yet. You know, just the solar salon, like, in talking to my landlord, I jokingly told him I wanted to go on the road with my book to encourage. I like touching people. Like, webinars seminars and everything are
Right.
great, but I'm a hugger. I want to physically touch you and, you know, encourage you, love on you. And I just joked and was like, if I take this tour on the road, would you like to sponsor me? And he was like, well, let me get back to you. And the next day he said, I can't sponsor you because I am just a franchisee for the Solar Salon Corporation, but I'm going to send you some contact information. Why don't you contact Solar Salon and ask them? Y'all, here I am again. I said I have no fear. I'm going to always go for big dreams, whatever. So I sent an email thinking, you know, if they say no, I'm not off, you know, any worse off. And I sent an email just describing what I wanted to do, saying, you know, I wanted to do a beauty school tour because I want to be the mentor that I never had. Like if someone would approach Tongela Curry while she was in beauty school and just kept it real with me about the industry, oh my God, like where would I have been? Not to say I despise things now, but they said yeah. And they sponsored my tour. So it's like, I love Solar Salons. Quick plug, no. But I do love it. Even though the space is small, like it's custom. Like even my customers always say like, I love this. It's nice. It's intimate. You know, I don't feel like people are staring because I do a lot of people who have concerns, scalp issues, hair issues. You know, they're trying to rebuild what's been broken. So sometimes when you're in an open environment, that makes them uncomfortable. So for me, being in a solar salon, it's kind of, you know, I have people ask all the time because they look at it as a downgrade. You know, are you okay? You know, when are you going to open your big salon? But I had to realize that for me, my heart was in my clientele, not in managing other people. Even though I had booth renters and commission teammates, I couldn't focus my energy on other people's careers at that time. My focus was, again, I was still establishing my brand. Like, what do you do with that? So it kind of gave me the time that I needed to niche down and pay attention to what's going on and actually, you know, develop and execute new strategies. So, I mean, and I travel a lot. I'm a little bit OCD. So, you know, when I leave, when I come back, my salon is just how I left it. Products aren't walking off. So it's great for me. I absolutely love it. And I still get those teachable moments. And again, like there's still where
I think you said earlier that when you were in your larger salon. Oh, I'm sorry. You said earlier when you were in your larger salon that you kind of had some attachments that you may have not needed to. We're horrible. That you may not have needed to have. You know, we sometimes attach to things that aren't good. However, you just said that going to the Solar Studios after the fire allowed you to kind of be selfish and look out for you. So I take that as like hindsight, God working it out so that you can release those things needed to be released so that you can ultimately get to where you're going to. I think I posted last week about sometimes our blessings are held up because we're holding on to things that we're meant to let go of. So you need to release them. And the this is release the blessing and whatever you're holding on to. So I think that was like a perfect example of that. You having to go, but ultimately being selfish. I think sometimes we have people and things and we are loyal to a fault. And we'll stick it out because we love those people or those things, or we've just grown accustomed and we won't let them go. And so it's hard being selfish when you love something or you're invested in something. So I do love that. Now I do have a question because as you know, you're in a solar studio, which is like for the people who it's the thing now. Everybody wants to work alone. People jump in straight out of hair school, and I'm not, but sometimes there needs to be other things. But how do you feel about people, or how do you feel about the rage of the studios, or what would be the benefits? I'm gonna take it from this perspective. What would be the benefit of someone who is newly in the industry, going into a solo studio versus maybe a commission or a larger salon, where they would be around other people gaining the experience? Do you think it's a good choice, or from your experience?
My opinion is, straight out of school, I feel like you still need some guidance and some leadership. Like, so many people look down on commission-based salons because they're too busy counting the owner's pockets, not realizing the expenses that the owners are out of. But where else are you going to have somebody who's going to give you them? As in, let me teach you what I've been through. Let me kind of teach you the game of the business. Would you have some people who are just gazelles? Like, they can literally start from school and they already have a clientele, but make it easy on yourself. Like, you don't want to create, if you've never run a business, you don't want to start day one with all the expenses, all the overhead. You still need experience. Like, it's coming straight out of high school, wanting to be a corporate executive. You kind of need to learn the ropes of the industry that you're in. To me, solo suites or any suite franchise are for people who already have a successful business, because you can't rely on anybody else to bring in income. So all your expenses, all your marketing, all your advertising, your trainings, all of that is on you. But the benefit of a solo is you don't have all the overhead. Because say the salon that I literally had gas, water, electric, rent, cable, alarm system, all the marketing, that was on me. Where now I literally just pay a base rent amount that covers the utility. So that's something that I don't have to stress over. But and not to say that you can't start out that way, but if you have money saved up, yes. But if you don't have any money coming in and you're building, it gets difficult. And you don't want to start out stressed out. So if you're kind of established, you have a clientele, you have a following, as in income. I'm not talking about social media.
Right.
I say go for it, because there are some people who are gifted, they're talented. They just need the space to create, and that would be ideal. Just don't hurt yourself straight out of school. You're still trying to establish a clientele, because it's going to be a struggle. The struggle can be very, very real. But I mean, if you have the momentum built, I think the big thing with so many people transitioning into suites versus booth renting in a salon is a lot of people have started to bump heads. When you're a booth renter, you're an independent contractor. So when you're in a booth renting space, you're under the umbrella of that brand, but that brand is not your brand. So there's kind of to me, a clash between the booth renter and the salon owner as who's responsible for what. And you kind of have to be careful not to cross certain lines, because the IRS can consider them an employee, which makes you entitled to employee withholdings and taxes and things like that. But, everybody has this boss mentality. Everybody wants to be a boss, but you can't be a booth renter boss and you still expect your salon owner to give you clientele, to market for you, to make a name for you. Like, no, you are an independent contractor. So I think, once we get past that boss mentality and we start running real businesses, like that's the biggest thing, whether it's a suite, booth renting in a salon, like, know your lane and stay in it.
I love that. I think, and I agree with everybody wanting to be a boss. A lot of things that I kind of notice is people saying, oh, I can't work with people, like going into the studios or going into owning a salon because they can't work with people, meaning other beauty professionals. But we're in the service industry. Our business is people. So I hate that they say that. I think that there's so much learning, especially if you're new to the game. There's so much learning and, like you said, experience that you need to gain and can gain by being in the salon or the barbershop, wherever you may work, with other people, because they're doing it and you don't know everything. And especially if you're looking to own and you're wanting to own, you learn those strategies and those systems and those structures, because I think that's why a lot of our businesses fail. We jump out there and there's so much we don't know. And we didn't take the time to humble ourselves and say, let me go do this over here so that I can glean. We think that it means that we fail, but experience, it trumps everything. So
it does.
I love that. And I want to ask, because we're going to wrap it up, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to ask, what do you have going on or coming up? What do you want to share with the people that they need to know about Tongela? First of all, before you start, follow her on all her social medias. I know she's going to say that, but specifically follow her on Facebook, because she has the most awesome, she calls herself Positive Patty, and she is. She has the most amazing rants you ever want to see, and they are just good, like full of nuggets. So do that alone. But tell us what you have coming up and where they can follow you.
You can follow me, my social media handle across the board, Instagram, Facebook. I miss Periscope. Is at Tongela Curry, TONGELACURRY. As far as what's going on for me this year, I am seeking greatness. Last year I was on the double tour with authors and on my beauty school tour, but this year, kind of at the end of 2017, I kind of had an epiphany. It's like, how do you stay innovative? How do you stay on the top of your game? And my thing is just being exposed to better. Like, I have come into contact with some really great, like, I love authenticity. Like, I don't care about smoke and mirrors. I don't care about how many Instagram followers you have. Like, authentic people is what drives me. So I am on a search this year. Like, that's why you guys will see me traveling a whole lot, pretty much once a month, sometimes twice a month. Because I want to be exposed to things that I haven't before. Like, I've never been to Premiere, and I've never been to IBS, ISSE, ABS. My goal is to see what is available to stylists in the beauty industry, whether it's new products, new tool innovation, and my clients know that I seek that. Like, they're always asking, like, what's new? You know, what is new for the market? You know, what can you do different on me? And I feel like I can't be a solution-based stylist without innovation, because theory is not going to change. The science of hair is not going to change. Technology does. And I don't want to be that person who is still doing the same old, same old. Like, I still do roller sets every week. I'm probably going to always do roller sets. But it's like, what's new? What is it? How can I do things quicker, faster, better without sacrificing integrity? So I'm on a mission this year to get out, to see what can I be exposed to that's going to make me a better person, but at the same time, bring that home to share with other stylists. Like, I'm not a greedy person. Like, my goal in life is to die empty, which sounds crazy, but you can't take it with you. So everything that I have in me, I want to pour it out. I want to give to other people, because I feel like we can all make it. There's enough bread, there's enough heads that we can all make without killing each other and stabbing each other in the back. So that's, if you see me out, approach me, please. Like, I'm not that crazy. People, like, it oh my God, like, I can't even explain how you're at some place and you hear your name and people, like, walk up and hug you. Like, I'm a crier too, so if I cry, don't think I'm weird. But I love
Still getting used
I
to
love
that.
people.
I'm like, okay.
Here's my book. I don't know if you can see it well. Entrepreneurial Transparency. It's available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon, or just go to my website. My website is like the central hub of everything. Tons will be soon. Like, y'all, I need 2 clones. Like, traveling, doing hair 5, sometimes 6 days a week. Like, everything you see is me. Like, from social media, I don't have anybody to help me. So I'm on a search too for a clone. like the perfect assistant. But it's just, I love life. I love people. And I feel like in this industry, what's going to save our industry is us coming together, saving ourselves. So, yeah, I love the link up. Thank you for having me, El Moniz. Like, I think we've only met, once or twice? But
Yeah,
you're like a blood sister. So you're
right.
stuck with me. So.
I know. And the same, I totally enjoyed it. I just love your energy, man. Like you said, I'm all about authenticity. I'm about positivity. Like, so I love it. The interview was great. I enjoyed you being here. But I have one question before you go, and then after this, we are gone, guys. So if you haven't already, share it with somebody, guys. That's why I say hello, Rashina. My question is, what advice would you give a beauty professional who is stuck or who feels stuck, unsure, and maybe ready to call it quits?
Don't quit. Like I said, that's the motto.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing in our industries, you have to ask the why question. You know, why did I start? Why am I here? And get back to that, because I think sometimes we get so busy, we get overwhelmed. Life happens because we have life outside of the salon. Is cleaning up some stuff, like some things that may have went wrong. Finances may not be where you want them to be. Credit may not be. It's 2018 is a year to clean up. You got this. You can endure. Stuff will happen. People will come for you, but God is good. As long as you have an unlimited resource in God, even if you don't believe in Christianity, I'm praying. Link up with some great people, even if it's not a mentor, if it's just somebody to encourage you, because that's a big thing. Like, and that's why a lot of the times in my social media rants is check up on your strong friends. You know, your friends that's always motivating everybody else. Nobody motivates them. So sometimes you never know, that smile you may see, they're crying as soon as that camera goes off. So just endure, stick it out. Do not quit by any means necessary. Do not quit. If you feel like you're going to quit, I don't want to say my number, but you have a friend in me. So there are people out there who want to see you do well. So yeah, just, you got this. Like, there's I posted it today. I can never remember his name. I think it's Stephen Furtick on YouTube. He's a preacher, but he has a quick motivation speech called "I Can Handle It." Like, if you have to listen to that every day, like, you have to endure. It's not gonna be easy. I don't care who you are looking at, who you're looking up to. It's not easy. Like, everybody has it hard. It's not just you. But guess what? You can't quit. You better not quit. Yeah, but that's it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us, Tongela. I had an amazing time. Thank you guys for tuning in. You may see her again on the show. Who knows what we have up. So, guys, next week, be sure to tune in, 7:45 p.m. CST, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.